Hello there. How's it going? How you doing today? I'm Bernie Miklasz, as you probably know, and you probably figured out this is the Bernie Show presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Hey, I'm getting a kick out of watching the St. Louis media continue to obsess over the decrease in attendance at Busch Stadium in the early part of 2025. I'm sorry, did I miss something here? Wasn't this supposed to happen? Like 100% it was supposed to happen that the crowds would be smaller, number of tickets sold would be lower. Is this some urgent bulletin that I missed? Oh my God, attendance is down. Oh my God, can you believe it? Yeah, actually, I can believe it because we knew it was coming. Okay. So I'm not sure why some of my friends in the media colony are, basically, I guess they want me and others to kind of hyperventilate and pass out because the Cardinals are selling fewer tickets. Okay, if you say so, because of course, here comes the sarcasm. Nobody thought this would happen. This is just stunning. I tell you what, man, I can't even whistle. The smaller crowds were 100% expected. So what's with all the pearl clutching? Do St. Louis sports media people spend too much time trying to please the angriest of our fellow citizens on X and other media platforms that are fine dispensaries of baseball knowledge? Yeah, that last part was sarcastic. I'll get on with it now. The attendance is down because a large percentage of fans are upset or disillusioned or disgusted by ownership and management. I totally get it. I've criticized ownership and management myself many times, but sorry, this ain't a new story. It's something that we all anticipated. Cardinals fans are down on ownership and management. Therefore, attendance is down, tickets sold are lower. I think we understand the situation, right? I'm going to talk about baseball. The Cardinals are 7-8 through 15 games, and this is no cause for celebration, certainly. But for the most part, I'm entertained by this team. I kind of like watching them play. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? Is it? I'm checking. Is there any authorities around? But for the most part, I am entertained by the team. I find it enjoyable, even when I am frustrated and the frustration boils. Overall, it's still a team that I like, and it's still a team that I think is intriguing. Now, feel free to disagree, and if I quit stammering, I'll get the words out. No offense taken here, but as I like to say, these players are just trying to win ball games for the fans. They want what you want, which is to win as much as possible. And, these guys are trying to establish themselves as regulars, pieces for the future that have a home here with the Cardinals and can be productive players. I mean, that's the goal. It's a hungry team. I like those type of teams. I've only been really ticked off, as you know, if you watch the video, I was really ticked off when the Cardinals hitters, in my opinion, just mailed in a bunch of really crummy at bats in that 13 inning 2-1 loss, that display of tedium on offense at Pittsburgh by the Cardinals. Yeah, I was angry about that because the Cardinals, especially with a young team, they are not in a position to say, "Oh, I'm exhausted. It's been a tough road trip. I want to go home." That one just that one left me disgruntled. But listen, I also know that quite a few teams, or I should say, every team will have quite a few clunkers during the long season. So I said what I had to say about that offensive no-show in Pittsburgh, the third game in Pittsburgh. And it doesn't taint my overall view of what I like about the team. It comes down to this for me, and I'm going to revisit this very briefly. None of these players are named DeWitt. None of these players are named Mozeliak, unlike others, or none of these players are named Marmol. Unlike others, I guess I'm able to separate the players from ownership management. If a percentage of the Cardinals fans hate the owner and the guy running the franchise, they hate the manager, hey, it's your choice. Do what you want. But what I don't understand is why, in effect, people would take it out on the players. But do what you want. Before the season, I expected the Cardinals to win between 78 and 82 games, a little more than 2 weeks into the season, 15 games into the season to be exact. That projection still seems logical, but we have to wait and see. Despite my lowered expectations, I still like watching these guys play ball. There are some appealing aspects to their performance. Yes, it's early. Yes, I know. It's early. I know. but I can only go by the games that they've played, and there's some enjoyable stuff going on. Let's start with the young hitters. And didn't a lot of us say, well, if a lot of their younger hitters are going to get more certainty in terms of playing time. And I guess for the most part, that's been the case, although I don't want to overstate that. But anyway, let's start with the young hitters. Let's just leave what the expectations were behind. Let's concentrate on the performance. The Cardinals group of position players age 25 or younger are second in the majors for that age category in wins above replacement. Only the Braves are getting a better overall value from position players age 25 or younger. I think that's good. Compared to the other 29 teams, the Cardinals hitters age 25 and younger are second in runs batted in with 33. They're tied for second with 10 home runs. They're fifth in on-base percentage. They're sixth in slugging. They're sixth in OPS. They're eighth in batting average at 293. When you look at this, and even noting, once again, it's early, and you got to show it, you got to prove this can last or come close, or come close to matching these kind of numbers. You don't want to fall off too much, but they will be falling off because that's baseball. But I don't know why anybody would have, and I don't think anybody has any real complaints about the offense, but I don't know why anybody wouldn't be happy, because we've seen a lot of bad offense around here the last couple of years. And even if it's the first 15 games of the season, it's nice to see some action happening, some good stuff happening. And obviously their good start offensively would have been better had Mason Wynn gotten off to a warmer start in 2025. But he seems to be getting straightened out. Before he went on the IL with back spasms, he was starting to chip hits in. He was really starting to come on. So here's another way to look at it when we try to ascertain how important the younger hitters are to this team and to its fortunes offensively, at least through 15 games. Entering Monday, and it's Monday, the Cardinals were third overall and second in the National League with an average of 5.5 runs scored per game. The Redbirds also offensively ranked first in the majors in on-base percentage, second in batting average, fourth in OPS, fifth in slugging. Only 6 teams have hit more home runs than St. Louis. Again, I don't know. There's some stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff we don't like. I don't think anybody was happy with the way Wilson Contreras started out, the way Wynn started out. You're not going to have everybody going great at the same time. But from the overall team concept, this offense is really good compared to what we're used to watching around here. And now the challenge will be to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So now that I've given you the entire picture offensively, where the Cardinals rank, now we go to part two. We go back to the younger hitters. What role have the hitters age 25 or younger played in shaping this improved offense? Well, I have the answer for you. I did some work. I'm not getting too fancy. I'm not giving you gobbledygook. It's pretty basic. So the young hitters age 25 or less are responsible for 40% of the hits so far, 55.5% of the home runs, 42% of the RBIs, 38% of the walks, 43% of the runs scored. That's pretty good. I don't know what this is going to look like in a few weeks, let alone a few months. A lot of teams, as we keep talking about, get off to a hot start. Any team can have an excellent 2 weeks of offense. But in baseball, the beauty of it and the challenge of it, you got to do it over and over and over and over again. You got to prove it all the time. But the first 15 games, at least, I think most of us would agree, were encouraging. Does this look like the sagging offense the Cardinals put on the field last year, the one that we watched in 2024? The offense that finished 12th in the National League in runs scored? No, it doesn't remind me of that offense at all, because they've improved their habits at the plate. They've improved their approach at the plate. They have really improved a lot of things offensively. They're being more selective. They're hitting more strikes. And I want to continue with this because it then carries over to some of the pitching that I like from younger sources. But first, I want to tell you about DraftKings. And hey, if you think you know Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA, PGA Tour, NASCAR, soccer, UFC, it's time to have some fun. Let's put that knowledge to use. It's time to win, so let's go here. Here's how it works. You just focus on player stats, then you decide which players to go with to pull in big cash prizes with DraftKings Pick 6. When it comes to huge payouts compared to the competition, our friends at DraftKings, they hit home runs. They put together triple doubles. They put together a hat trick. This is a great operation. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. Playing's a lot of fun. You make your picks, then you have a blast as you track those picks to see about your shot at winning big prizes and cash. Yeah, it really is that simple. I signed up and was impressed by just how easy it is to get started. It doesn't take any time at all. You just download the DraftKings app and you open an account. Then you choose a sport, you pick your players, and away you go for the win, right? You can turn the knowledge of baseball, NHL, NBA, golf, whatever sport. You can turn your knowledge into cash, and you can get going as soon as you like. It's today, for a matter of fact. So new players at DraftKings get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly with just a $5 entry. So download the DraftKings Pick 6 app right now or ASAP and use the code STL Sports. That's the code STL Sports for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Absolutely.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, now let's return to the Cardinals. According to Baseball Reference, talking about the relative youth of this offense, which was kind of what the Cardinals were trying to push all off season. It looks like the Cardinals desire to push the young hitter aspect. It looks like it's, at least for now, up until now, getting really good results. The Cardinals have the 7th youngest set of position players among the 30 major league teams. So I don't know. What do we want to call that? Is it a reset? Is it a transition? Is it a phase? I don't know. Maybe it's time to just quit talking about how we categorize it. I just like watching these guys play, and I like seeing the improvement from a lot of their young hitters. If we go by OPS plus, which is more accurate than OPS because it adjusts for league conditions and ballpark effects, Cardinals hitters age 25 or younger are off to an above average starts. Of a lot of them, most of them. They're off to above average starts offensively. Mason Wynn's the exception, but as I mentioned earlier, he was starting to pile up some hits before suffering back spasms that put him on the IL. Here's a list of the hitters age 25 and younger for the St. Louis Cardinals that are above average offensively so far in this early phase of the season. Victor Scott II, Jordan Walker, Ivan Herrera, Thomas Saggese, and Nolan Gorman. Then you have two 26-year-old hitters, Pedro Pages and Alec Burleson, who have contributed to the good offense, although I would say Burleson has been a disappointment to this point. Other players younger than 30, Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar, Lucan Baker, Yohel Pozo, what a surprise he's been. The guys, other players that are under 30, older than 25, but under 30, they've spread a lot of offense around. They've contributed. So the Cardinals have a pretty good thing, really a pretty positive thing going offensively, and that doesn't include the major contributions that are still to come, I think, from the 33-year-old first baseman Wilson Contreras and also from Mason Wynn. Contreras has started to hit, I think, in his last 2 games since being taken out of the 2-hole, batting lower in the lineup. His last 2 games in the new setup, 4 for 8, hit his first home run, driven in some runs. I think he's about to go on a heater. Let's hope so, because I like it when I like watching him mash. If we look at Cardinals hitters that are no older than 28, Cardinals hitters as a group that are no older than 28, the expanded age group leads the majors with 66 runs batted in, second in batting average, second in homers and OPS, third in on-base percentage and slugging. 28, no older than 28. This is arguably the best set of hitters so far in that age category. Now, that's something that I think should make you sit up and notice a little bit. I know after I researched that, I was like, wow, I knew they were doing pretty well, but when you compare it to the other teams with their age groups, in this particular age group, the Cardinals are pretty much shining above just about everybody. We'll see how much it fades. There'll be a tail off. We'll just the question is, how much of a tail off, how much of a downturn, right? So even when adding a few older guys in, as I have done here today, it's still a pretty young collection of hitters overall, and I'll explain that too. The Cardinals have only 2 hitters older than 28, Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras. So far, with injuries and call-ups and this and that, so far they've used 15 hitters under the, actually, let me take that back. They've used 13 hitters under age 30 on this team, 13 hitters under age 30. The 13, Pages, Pozo, Herrera, Donovan, Wynn, Nootbaar, Gorman, Sajaci, Scott, Ciani, Walker, Burleson, and Baker. Those 13 guys, their average age is 25.4 years, right? So I don't think I'm cheating here by including the guys that are no older than 28. I'm just expanding the group a little bit, but the average age of this group is still really, really young. Now, on the pitching side, there's not as much to talk about, but I really like what I've seen so far from Matthew Liberatore and Andre Pallante. They're the 2 least experienced starting pitchers in this rotation, and they've combined for a 3.11 ERA in their 6 starts. On Friday night, we saw Andre Pallante outpitch the Phillies' Aaron Nola. We saw, in a real big surprise, I think, we saw Matthew Liberatore outpitch Phillies' ace Zach Wheeler. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. For now, if you look at the 3.11 ERA combined from Libby and Pallante, it's a hell of a lot better than the combined 5.72 ERA turned in by the older starters, Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, and Eric Fetty. Yeah, of course that could change over time. And I know that Michaelis is the main reason for that inflated ERA. But I have to say, it's not like Sonny Gray's been great. He hasn't. It's not like Eric Fetty has been great. 2 of his starts are really good. One was a mess. So we'll have to see. But so far, the 2 youngest starters have been the best starters so far. If you go back to May 29th of last season, Pallante's got the 10th best starting pitching ERA in the National League. I think that's pretty good. Liberatore's fielding independent ERA this season through 3 starts is 1.91, and that's built on the fact that he's struck out 18 and he's only walked 1, and he's got 1 homer. And I think that fielding independent ERA is more representative of the quality that Liberatore is providing for the Cardinals. I really do. The Cardinal bullpen trend's older, and it's still somewhat unsettled, and I think there will be moves, as always, in bullpens during the course of the season. But Kyle Leahy has emerged as an underrated high leverage reliever at age 28, but still inexperienced in the big leagues, relatively so. I would expect to see Ryan Fernandez, who's now age 27, sharpen up after a poor start. He's got too good of stuff to struggle the way he has. And I think the last couple of times out, he was better. Listen, we have to wait and see. The Cardinals took a flyer on Roddery Munoz, who throws 95, 98. He's 25 years old. He doesn't always know where the ball's going. But again, it's worth taking a look at. And down the road, I think the Cardinals will be taking looks at some relievers or starters that are doing well in their system. I'm not trying to push a narrative here. We were told it was going to be a younger team, or there was going to be an emphasis on younger players. The Cardinals haven't gone all the way with that, obviously, but they have made a commitment for the most part, with some reservations on my end. So I want to kind of judge them based on that, based on, what this season was supposed to be all about. And we thought it was going to be the reset and then the runway and all this other stuff, but they're not going all in to win either. So the thing I'm interested in is, okay, well, all of these young hitters and young starters who are trying to establish themselves in the big league, in the big leagues, and someone that can be counted on going forward after 2025, how are they doing? And the answer is simple. I like how this cast of younger hitters and pitchers are doing in the first month. It's only the first month. Once again, I know. The young hitters, have a lot of responsibility get a lot of the credit for pulling this offense high above last season's below average, way below average status. And what Liberatore and Pallante are doing makes me hope the Cardinals front office won't shy away from trying to go with more young talent as the season plays out. Now, that said, there's always going to be clouds on the horizon. On Monday, the Cardinals shut down their top pitching prospect, Quinn Matthews, by placing him on the 7-day injury list after they noticed a drop in his fastball velocity. That's a little too early to know what's going on there, but that they shut him down, so they want to take a look at exactly where he is. And Tink Hence, who, as time goes on, I hate to be like this, but I keep hearing about Tink Hence. It seems like we've been hearing about Tink Hence for like 25 years, and the guy doesn't pitch. There's always some kind of injury, right? So we'll wait and see, because maybe one of these years the Cardinals will hit the jackpot and the dude will actually stay healthy enough to throw more than 100 innings in a season. But I'll tell you this much, even with some of these misgivings and some of the also acknowledging that some of this good stuff could turn downward as the season goes on, all I can talk about is what we've seen so far. And I can tell you this. I'd rather watch baseball, and I'd rather watch baseball being played by young guys who are doing a really nice job and they're pretty entertaining. I'd much rather watch that than sit around like moping and counting empty seats. But hey, everybody to my friends in the media, do what you want. I like the baseball part. If you get off counting empty seats, go for it. Make yourselves, knock yourselves out. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. And I want to thank DraftKings for their support. I want to thank, most of all of you that are subscribing, watching, and commenting on The Bernie Show or reading my columns at sportshubstl.com. So you all have a great night, and I'll be back tomorrow. They're going to do something on the Blues. They got a huge home game coming up, don't they? Getting down to the real nitty-gritty. That'll do it for now, and appreciate you watching very, very much.